Hello, everybody. Today we're focusing on section 6 of our economics unit, our final section for the most part. And this is called business types and the stock market. Now, there's three parts to it. Part 1, part A, I should say, is going to be entrepreneurs and starting a business. And so, what does it take to start a business? Why is it so difficult? And what are the things people struggle with? Part B is going to focus on different types of businesses, sole proprietorships, partnerships, and corporations. And for part B, there won't be a video. You'll just use the slides, and within the slides, you can click on audio if you want to. And then part C, we'll have a video, and that's talking about the stock market and how stock markets provide the money needed for corporations. So to begin today, we're going to do this video on entrepreneurs and starting a business. So here we go. So to begin with, we have to understand what the word entrepreneur means. And an entrepreneur is a person who creates a business. He or she organizes, manages, and assumes the risk of a business in order to gain a profit. And it's not an easy thing. A lot of people fail at business because there is so many different aspects to it. And so when we think about entrepreneurs, sometimes it's somebody who is famous, like Bill Gates with Microsoft, or Elon Musk, or somebody like that. But they started small too. Bill Gates started very small with Microsoft. It could be a restaurant or another place that you'd like to go for entertainment, that kind of thing. Or it could be a service, a plumber, an electrician, a carpenter, any of those jobs. They're all entrepreneurs too because they're starting their own business. And it requires capital money. It requires skills. It requires marketing, a good location, all these different things. And that's hard to put together. So here's your harsh reality. According to the Small Business Association, 30% of new businesses fail in the first 2 open years of being open, 50% in the first 5 years, and 66% in the first 10 years. The majority of businesses will fail. And that's a feature that we have with capitalism. When you have capitalism, people have the right to create their own businesses, but they may also go out of business. There's no guarantee that they're going to stay there. So we need to think about, what do you think are the reasons? What are the 5 reasons that you believe new businesses fail? And so take a minute, think about that. If you have some loose leaf paper, jot down what you think are 5 big reasons why businesses fail. And I'll give you a second here, and then we will go to a website and see what the 5 reasons actually are. So as you're doing that, you can stop this if you want. Otherwise, here's the website. So it says top 6 reasons. All right, let's take a look at those. Not investigating the market. All right. So not investigating the market would mean that you don't necessarily know how much of a need there is for your product. Are you pushing a product that's needed or not? Sometimes you might see, for example, a new pizza store will open up in a town. Well, maybe they have 2 pizza stores already. And so it's not something that you need, or it's really hard to get into that market for some reason. 2, business plan problems. Okay. Do you have a business plan? Do you know what your process is going to be? Do you have expectations at each level? If you don't have those things in place, it's going to be really hard to survive. 3, too little financing. Business is expensive. So if you start out and you don't have enough money, you're going to be done before you get customers. And so making sure you have enough money is something that people struggle with. 4, they always say location, location, location. Do you have a good location for foot traffic that's walking past your store? Is it a place that people want to go to, an area that people want to be? Does your store fit with the area? Is it the type of place where people think, hey, this is a place I want to go to here? All those things matter. Your internet presence. Are you on the internet? Can people see you? Do you have a website that people are interested in? They think it's fun. Marketing. How do they hear about your business? If you're not planning marketing, you're planning to fail. So, number 5, remaining rigid. So remaining rigid basically means that you have a certain plan, you're going to stick to it no matter what. Well, sometimes you have to be flexible. Think about the coronavirus. Think how much that has shifted businesses. And so you can't just completely remain rigid. And 6, expanding too fast. If you get too big, too fast, you're going to find yourself in trouble, because adding on always means adding expenses for the most part. So that's what we see there with those. To go over them one more time. I know this is 5, I gave you 6, but you can add in the 6. Not investigating the market, business plan problems, too little financing, bad location, bad internet presence or marketing, remaining rigid, and expanding too fast. So to get a feel for this, we're going to do a little activity here. You'll find this in Google Classroom. It's called E6 Activity 1, Beginning in Business. So here's what we're going to do. Here's the actual form right here. Here's your directions. Imagine you're starting a new business. Your first task is to determine how much it will cost to start your business. For this activity, you need to list all the items you need to start a business. Focus only on items you need to purchase to begin your business. You're only going to need 10 things for this. So, examples might be furniture, machines, computers, whatever it might be. So if I'm going to start up a burger joint, well, I need ovens. I need cash registers. I need chairs. I need like a pop machine. You just run through and list 10 things, and try to be very specific as much as you can so that you can estimate price as well. So choose business, put it in here, list your 10 items, and then put it what you think is an estimated price for those items. How much do you think a pop machine costs? Maybe you say $200, put in $200. Once you have your estimates here, add all those up to get your total estimated price. And then I want you to go on the internet and search around and see, can you find an actual price for these items? And then add all those up and put your actual price in here. And then look at the gap. Are you close? Are you far away? Did you overprice? Did you underprice? And then just answer these questions. Was your estimate close? If not, why do you think there's such a gap? And what has this taught you about the difficulties of beginning a business? So you can pause this video, take some time to work on that, and then come on back over. Okay, so a few follow-up questions, like we said, is your estimate close? Why or why not? And maybe you overestimated costs, maybe you underestimated. Everybody's kind of different. And we've already talked about some of the reasons that businesses fail, so it's probably going to help you to choose a little bit more better answers with that anyway. And it can teach you a lot about starting a business. I'm asking you to do 10 items. You're probably going to need at least 100 items for your business. So this is a very small sample size. So next, we're going to look at a business owner who started something that has become big. Nintendo didn't start as Nintendo. It started as something very different than that. So we're going to look at the reading. It's in Google Classroom, called E6 Reading 1 in the game. So here we go. Most people know that the name Nintendo. This company's game sales surpassed most in its field. What many may not know is that Nintendo started out making playing cards. The founder, Masahiro Yamauchi, originally opened Nintendo Koppai in Kyoto, Japan in 1889. After modest success, his grandson, Hiroshi, visited the United States to arrange a deal with the biggest American playing card company at the time, and was shocked to discover that the playing card market had hardly been tapped in the States. Excited by the idea of expanding Nintendo, he bought the rights to popular Disney characters in 1956 and put them on playing cards. It was a smart move as profits grew until 1964, when demand for playing cards fell. In 1966, the company moved into the toy market. After many failed attempts to compete with well-established companies, the owners realized that they had to try something new. They saw potential in the video game industry. But sales were still slow in the early and mid-1970s. Nintendo's luck didn't turn until they hired a student product developer named Shigeru Miyamoto in 1977. Miyamoto was originally hired as an artist for a coin-operated arcade game called Radar Scope, which did not succeed as hoped. Then he redesigned the game into what has become known as a hugely popular Donkey Kong. This game featured a hero originally called Jumpman who avoided obstacles to rescue a damsel in distress from a big ape. Jumpman was later renamed Mario and became the hero of a series of video games. Mario Brothers eventually became the best-selling video game of all time. In addition to its highly successful video games, Nintendo has introduced several gaming systems that has helped turn the small playing card producer into the multinational billion-dollar giant it is today. Game Boys, GameCubes, Nintendo 64 systems, and the newest model, the popular Wii, you can tell this is an older article, have all contributed to Nintendo's amazing success story. So when you look at Nintendo, what you see is a company that's willing to shift. Let's compare this with the 6 reasons that companies fail. Not investigating the market. Now, that almost became a problem for them at one point. Remember when they talked about the toys? They're getting into a toy market that had way too many big producers and they couldn't get in there. So they shifted and they made it work. Business plans seemed pretty solid in terms of buying the rights to Disney. That was really smart to put those on playing cards and make some money. They didn't really talk about financing. Location, they had a good location with playing cards because the United States market was open. They did not remain rigid at all. It goes from being a playing card company to a toy company to a video game company. And so you can see with Nintendo is a great example of ways a company has to shift to be able to survive. So a few final notes. First off, it's not easy being an entrepreneur. It's not easy having a business. You always have so many different irons in the furnace, and you're in charge of everything if you're the owner. So you have to do the financing, you have to take care of your employees, you have to take care of taxes, you have to be everything to everybody. It takes risk, capital money, hard work, inputs, and a lot of patience. And sometimes you're going to fail before you succeed, and that's okay. When it comes to capitalism, failure is a big part of it. And you learn from the mistakes you make, and hopefully the next time around you do a little bit better. So that's what we have for part A, entrepreneurs and starting a business. Part B, you will continue on with this PowerPoint, and there'll be some audio that you can listen to, and you'll be filling in notes based on what you see in the slides. So take care and have a great day, everybody.